This might be one of the most controversial things Isaiah Thomas has said in years, and somehow, without warning, it pulled Michael Jordan and Kevin Durant into a debate that feels way bigger than just basketball. Because at first, it sounded like just another opinion. Another former player speaking on the game. Another hypothetical about eras and greatness. But the second those words hit the internet, everything changed. Now suddenly, it's not just a conversation. It's a clash of legacies. And the reason this blew up so fast is because of what was really being said underneath the surface. This wasn't just about whether Kevin Durant could score in a different era. This wasn't just about systems or teammates. This was about something people don't like to question. The idea that what Michael Jordan did can't be replicated. And the moment someone challenges that idea, even indirectly, everything gets tense. Because for a lot of fans, Michael Jordan isn't just great. He's untouchable. He's the standard that every player gets measured against. The one name that ends every argument. So when Isaiah Thomas steps in and suggests that another player, especially someone like Kevin Durant, could step into that same situation and produce the same results, it doesn't just raise eyebrows. It shakes the entire conversation. And what makes this even more intense is the history behind it. Because this isn't coming from a random analyst or a fan online. This is coming from someone who was there. Someone who competed in that era. Someone who went head-to-head with Jordan when it actually mattered. Which means when he speaks, people listen. But they also question his motives. Because there's always been something deeper between those two names. And that's why the reaction wasn't normal. The second those comments started spreading, the internet lit up. Fans jumped into debates. Analysts started breaking it down. Old clips resurfaced. Old rivalries got dragged back into the spotlight. It felt like the past and present collided all at once. And then it got even louder when the nightcap crew stepped in. Now you've got voices like Chad Johnson and Shannon Sharpe reacting, questioning, and pushing back on what was said. And when that happens, it's no longer just a basketball conversation. It becomes a cultural moment. Because now it's not just about who's right or wrong. It's about respect. It's about legacy. It's about how we remember greatness and who gets to define it. And here's where things get really interesting. Because while everyone is focused on the surface-level debate, Kevin Durant versus Michael Jordan, there's a deeper question hiding underneath all of this. Why does it feel like every time Isaiah Thomas speaks on this topic, it leads right back to Jordan? Why does this story keep coming back, no matter how much time passes? And why does the silence from Michael Jordan somehow make it even louder? That's the part people can't ignore. Because in a world where everyone responds, where everyone defends themselves, where every comment turns into a back and forth, Jordan doesn't say anything. And somehow, that silence speaks louder than words. It leaves space for interpretation. It leaves room for debate. It keeps the mystery alive. And that mystery is exactly what keeps pulling people back into this conversation. Because no matter how many years go by, no matter how many new players rise, no matter how the game evolves, certain stories never really end. They just wait for the right moment to come back. And this right here feels like one of those moments. Because what started as a simple hypothetical has now turned into something much bigger. Something layered with history, emotion, and unresolved tension. And the more people talk about it, the clearer it becomes. This was never going to stay small. This was never going to be just another take. The second those names got involved, the second that comparison was made, the outcome was already set. This was going to explode. And now that it has, the only question left is how deep this really goes. Because if you think this is just about one comment, you're missing the bigger picture. This story didn't start here. And it definitely doesn't end here. But here's the thing that really fuels the fire, the history between these players. This isn't just about hypothetical matchups or stats on paper. Isaiah Thomas carries decades of experiences, battles, and what-ifs. Every mention of Michael Jordan triggers memories of battles fought on the court, missed opportunities, and that one glaring what could have been moment, the 1992 Dream Team snub. And that's why fans latch onto it. Because everyone loves drama, but they love injustice even more. The fact that Thomas was never on that legendary roster? That fact alone lights a fuse for debate. It's a story that combines skill, ego, history, and a sense of being wronged. The ingredients for a viral moment are all there. Now, mix in perception. Jordan is untouchable, and that status comes with an invisible rule: nobody questions it lightly. So when Thomas speaks up, it's not just another comment, it's a challenge to a legacy. People respond because legacies are sacred, especially ones as massive as Jordan's. This fuels clicks, debates, and discussions across every platform. And then you add personalities. The Nightcap crew reacts, bringing in their own perspectives, mixing fact with opinion, and creating soundbites that the internet devours. It's not just analysis, it's entertainment. Every playful jab, every hypothetical scenario, every side comment becomes fodder for social media. And the audience eats it up because it's layered, history, opinion, and bold claims all at once. But the viral formula isn't just drama and history. It's relatability. Everyone watching can picture themselves debating this in their living room, yelling at the TV, or posting a comment. Fans love the "I would have done it differently" angle because it lets them insert themselves into the story. They can take sides, defend their player, or critique Thomas. That interactivity keeps the story alive. And then there's emotion. People aren't just debating basketball skills, they're debating respect. The idea that Thomas, a legend in his own right, might have been overlooked, underestimated, or silenced resonates with anyone who's ever felt unfairly judged. It taps into something deeper than sports. It's about recognition, legacy, and human pride. Next, throw in mystery and silence. Jordan doesn't respond. That lack of engagement amplifies everything. It's like a vacuum that the internet rushes to fill. Without a response, speculation runs wild. Was he offended? Did he even notice? Or is he above it all? That silence fuels articles, interviews, and endless video content because nobody can confirm the truth and people crave it. Finally, the formula includes escalation. Every new comment from Thomas, every reaction from analysts or former players, pushes the conversation forward. It builds like chapters in a story: hypothetical matchups, snubs, comparisons, personal grudges, and expert analysis all stacked together. Each layer creates new engagement, driving the viral momentum higher and higher. When you combine history, personalities, controversy, relatability, emotion, silence, and escalation, you don't just have a conversation, you have a story engineered to dominate feeds, spark debates, and keep audiences hooked. And that, exactly, is why this moment exploded online. And here's where the stakes get even higher. When you dig into the backstory, you realize this isn't just about stats or championships, it's about pride, legacy, and personal history. Michael Jordan isn't just a name, he's an icon whose influence stretches beyond the court, and that shadow looms large over every conversation involving Isaiah Thomas. Every mention of a hypothetical matchup, every comparison, feels like poking the dragon. The drama escalates because it touches on the human side of sports, the moments you don't see in the highlight reels. The locker room tension, the missed opportunities, the quiet grudges carried for decades. Fans love that because it humanizes legends. It turns mythic figures into relatable humans who experience disappointment, rivalry, and the weight of expectations. That relatability is what keeps viewers coming back, video after video. Then you layer in the hypothetical what ifs. What if Kevin Durant had been on the 90s Bulls? Could he have won 6 championships? That's not just a question about skill, it's a mental playground for fans. Everyone has an opinion, and everyone wants to argue their perspective. It's debate fuel in its purest form, because hypotheticals invite participation, and participation fuels virality. And of course, timing is everything. Releasing this content during anniversaries, playoff seasons, or after a major documentary like The Last Dance reignites interest. Context gives the story relevance. It's not just old news, it's history colliding with the present. Audiences love seeing past events re-examined under modern lenses, especially when someone like Thomas reopens a wound that was thought closed. The next ingredient is conflict. Viral stories thrive on tension, and here it's layered. You have personal tension between Thomas and Jordan, professional tension over legacy debates, and social tension as fans and analysts take sides. That conflict creates natural engagement, comments, shares, debates, and more content that keeps the story alive. Add some expert validation. When analysts, former players, or commentators weigh in, it legitimizes the debate. It's no longer just a fan argument in a comment section, it becomes part of a broader narrative that the audience trusts. This layer of credibility amplifies engagement because people see it as official discussion material. And humor can't be ignored. Playful jabs, ironic commentary, and witty exchanges keep the tone entertaining. Even serious debates need that spark of levity to make the content shareable. Memes, short clips, and viral reactions thrive in these moments, spreading the story far beyond the original audience. Finally, the lasting hook, unresolved tension. Michael Jordan never responds publicly, and that silence is golden. The story doesn't close, it loops back on itself, creating a cycle where every new interview, every post, and every reaction reignites the conversation. That unresolved element is the secret source of virality. The audience stays hooked because the story isn't over, and they are waiting for the next move. This is the core of the competitive viral formula. Personal history, high stakes, relatability, hypotheticals, timing, conflict, expert validation, humor, and unresolved tension, all designed to keep viewers engaged, debating, and coming back for more. Now you move into the part where the human drama hits its peak. This isn't just about who's better on paper, it's about respect, ego, and the quiet grudges that simmer under the surface. Isaiah Thomas isn't just making noise for clout, he's staking his claim in a narrative where he feels overlooked. That feeling of being undervalued resonates with everyone who's ever been passed over, and it's exactly why fans latch onto it. Every comment he makes becomes a spark in a powder keg. You can feel it in the tone of his interviews, measured, confident, but with an edge that says, "Don't forget me." And the audience picks up on that instantly. It's the subtle cues, the pause before the punchline, the emphasis on certain words, that tell a story beyond the stats. That's what gives sports commentary its cinematic quality. Then you layer in comparisons to legends. Talking about Michael Jordan, Kevin Durant, Scottie Pippen, and other NBA greats creates instant debate. Who had it harder? Who maximized their talent? Who would dominate in a different era? The hypothetical.
Nostalgia is a viral magnet because it triggers emotional responses. Fans relive memories while weighing them against modern players, creating a multi-generational discussion that appeals to both older and newer audiences. Conflict, relatability, expert input, and nostalgia combine to build momentum. But the true viral power comes from the unresolved questions. Why wasn't Isaiah on the Dream Team? Would KD have won 6 titles with the 90s Bulls? Why does Jordan never respond? These questions linger, leaving the audience invested and waiting for answers that may never come, which keeps engagement high. Every new interview, every Instagram post, every reaction from former players or analysts feeds this cycle. It's a self-sustaining machine of content, debate, and engagement. And that's how a story like this doesn't just survive, it thrives, becoming a cultural touchpoint that fans return to again and again. Now you pivot into the personal side of the story, the human element that hooks viewers emotionally. This is where the script taps into what makes people care beyond stats and highlights. Isaiah Thomas isn't just a basketball player. He's a man with a story of being overlooked, underappreciated, and underestimated. That's a universal feeling. Everyone has faced a moment where their talent or effort wasn't fully recognized, and when a sports figure voices that publicly, it hits home. You lean into anecdotes from the past, dream team snubs, playoff battles, and clashes with legends. Specificity is key here. By naming exact moments, games, and teammates, the narrative becomes tangible. Fans can picture it, debate it, and even form opinions as if they were there. This makes the story sticky. It's no longer abstract, it's a chapter in basketball history with faces, dates, and stakes that feel real. Layer in tension between personalities. Michael Jordan's silence, Scottie Pippen's measured responses, and Isaiah Thomas's pointed comments create a triangle of conflict that audiences can follow. Conflict is inherently compelling. Humans are wired to notice friction, And when it's framed around giants of the game, curiosity spikes. Who's right? Who's wrong? Who's going to break first? That suspense drives clicks, views, and shares. You also highlight the stakes of legacy. These aren't just games, they're careers, reputations, and history itself. The narrative makes viewers feel that they're witnessing more than a debate, they're witnessing the shaping of basketball lore. That raises emotional investment dramatically. Fans aren't just observers, they're part of the conversation. Every comment feels like a vote in an ongoing debate that matters. Then comes relatability with a twist. Humanizing legends. Show their quirks, their decisions, and their rivalries. Explain why Jordan didn't respond, why Stockton got chosen over Thomas, and why even small slights from decades ago still sting. By presenting these nuances, you create layers of understanding while keeping the audience guessing. It's subtle drama disguised as sports commentary. Next, you leverage controversy to maintain momentum. Controversy is the engine of engagement. By framing every statement as part of a larger what-if scenario, KD replacing Jordan, Thomas snubbed again, you give fans something to argue about. People don't just watch, they debate. Social media lights up, clips are shared, and discussions spill over to every platform. Finally, nostalgia and respect are intertwined. Remind viewers of the era, the stakes, and the legends involved. Use vivid descriptions of past games, rosters, and moments of brilliance. This duality, honoring history while questioning it, creates tension that feels respectful but provocative. It's a delicate balance that keeps the story viral. Fans feel like they're learning insider truths while reliving the magic. The combination of emotion, conflict, legacy stakes, relatability, controversy, and nostalgia forms the core of engagement. This is the phase where viewers are fully invested. They care about the outcome, the opinions, and the narrative's impact on basketball history. It's the moment the story transcends a highlight reel and becomes cultural currency. Now you shift into the present-day reactions, the viral ripple effect that makes the story explode online. This is where the narrative bridges the past and the now, showing how historical events still ignite debates today. Clips, social media posts, and hot takes from analysts all come into play. By highlighting the immediate responses from peers, fans, and media, you amplify the stakes. Viewers see that the drama isn't just in memory, it's alive, breathing, and part of the current basketball conversation. You showcase how different voices respond differently. Some defend Isaiah Thomas, praising his skill and legacy. Others defend Jordan, emphasizing his greatness and decision-making. The script thrives on this polarity.
When you present strong, opposing viewpoints, engagement skyrockets. People love to pick sides, comment, and share. It turns passive viewers into participants. The narrative isn't just a story anymore, it's a conversation starter, a debate that fans feel compelled to join. Add layers of analysis that feel insider level. Break down hypothetical scenarios, like KD replacing Jordan, or whether Thomas deserved the dream team spot. Use stats, awards, and historical context to make these hypotheticals feel grounded. Audiences eat this up because it's both entertaining and informative. It's the what-if question that fuels endless speculation and keeps people clicking through to see every angle. Then weave in microdrama, small but juicy moments that feel personal. Thomas calling out Chad Johnson, social media reactions, and subtle barbs in interviews all serve as sparks. Each tiny incident is magnified because viewers already care about the personalities and history involved. This microdrama adds texture, making the story feel alive and unpredictable. At the same time, maintain the narrative arc of respect and legacy. Even amid controversy, remind the audience why these players are legends. Highlight achievements, leadership, and clutch moments. This ensures the story isn't just gossip, it's a celebration of greatness with tension. The mix of admiration and conflict creates a magnetic pull that keeps viewers engaged. Finally, show the societal and cultural impact. Explain why these debates matter beyond the court. They influence how new generations view players, shape fan discussions, and even affect narratives in documentaries and media coverage. This framing gives the story weight, making it feel important and consequential. By combining current reactions, polarized viewpoints, insider analysis, microdrama, legacy reinforcement, and cultural context, you create a phase that hooks viewers emotionally, intellectually, and socially. This is the moment the story goes viral, sparking discussions across platforms while keeping fans deeply invested in every development. Now you pivot to the human side of the story, the emotional heartbeat that makes the narrative resonate beyond stats and highlights. This phase digs into why these rivalries and debates matter on a personal level. Show Isaiah Thomas not just as a player but as a man shaped by experiences, by battles on and off the court, by moments of triumph and disappointment. Let viewers feel his pride, his frustrations, and the drive that fueled him to compete at the highest level. Personal stakes make the story relatable. Fans see themselves in his pursuit of respect and validation. Next, explore the shared history that adds layers of tension. Chicago, the Pistons, the Bulls, the Olympics, all these contexts carry emotional weight. When Thomas and Jordan's paths crossed, it wasn't just about basketball, it was about respect, opportunity, and legacy. By giving the audience this background, every comment, jab, and hypothetical scenario becomes charged with meaning. It's not gossip, it's history, emotion, and human complexity rolled into one. Introduce subtle rivalries and alliances to make the story dynamic. Point out how relationships shifted over time. Teammates, opponents, coaches, and the media all played roles in shaping public perception. Highlight small gestures, unspoken tensions, and moments of recognition or snubbed respect. Each detail creates texture, turning a straightforward debate into a layered, character-driven saga that audiences can dissect and discuss endlessly. Tie in moments of regret, reflection, or unfinished business. Show that even decades later, these players carry the echoes of decisions and actions from their past. Thomas reflecting on missing the dream team, Jordan maintaining silence, Pippen and others weighing in. These elements humanize legends while keeping the stakes high. Audiences are drawn to unresolved threads. They create anticipation and emotional investment. Blend storytelling with cinematic pacing. Use pauses, emphasis, and repetition as if narrating a highlight reel. Build tension like a playoff series, moments of suspense, key turning points, and climactic reveals. Make the viewer feel like they are witnessing history unfold, not just hearing a summary. Finally, position this phase as the bridge between personal story and cultural resonance. Viewers should walk away feeling they understand the people, the history, and the emotional depth behind every headline. By humanizing the players, the story transcends competition. It becomes about legacy, identity, and the enduring pursuit of respect. This emotional connection ensures the narrative sticks in the minds of fans, fueling ongoing engagement and discussion. Now it's time to escalate the drama with public reaction, the viral spark that turns a story from personal conflict into headline news. Show how every statement Isaiah Thomas makes, every hypothetical comparison to Michael Jordan or Kevin Durant, immediately lights up social media. Tweets, clips, debates, memes, make it feel like the internet is alive with this conversation. Highlight the intensity of fan opinions, analyst takes, and the way every comment spreads like wildfire. Layer in the expert and influencer reactions. Basketball analysts, former players, commentators, they all weigh in, dissecting every word, comparing stats, legacies, and what-if scenarios. The key is to make viewers feel they are part of a larger conversation, witnessing the cultural echo of these statements in real time. This is what drives engagement. It's not just what was said, it's how everyone else reacts. Emphasize the controversies and split opinions. Some defend Thomas, citing his career, stats, and leadership. Others push back, questioning whether comparisons to Jordan are fair or necessary. Use this tension to build suspense, framing every new comment as a potential spark for the next viral moment. Highlight strong emotions, pride, frustration, loyalty, because these are the triggers that make a story unforgettable. Show the secondary layer of celebrity dynamics. Chad Johnson, Joe Johnson, Scottie Pippen, even Barkley, all their interactions with Thomas and Jordan add complexity. This isn't just a player-to-player debate, it's a network of reputations, alliances, and personal pride. Detail these connections, subtle rivalries, and public statements to deepen the narrative and keep audiences hooked. Include the power of visuals and replay. Clips from interviews, highlights from past games, and reactions on panels serve as proof points, fueling the discussion. Make the audience feel the intensity, as if they are in the room listening live. The viral formula relies on this constant reinforcement of credibility and spectacle. Finally, frame this phase as the societal lens. Show how fans, social media, and pop culture transform personal opinions into global conversation. The narrative becomes bigger than basketball, its legacy, pride, and the need for recognition amplified across millions of viewers. This is the stage where drama meets virality, creating the tension that keeps audiences clicking, commenting, and sharing for days. Now comes the reflective phase, where the story digs deeper into context and legacy, giving weight to the viral drama while grounding it in history. Take the audience back to the origins: Isaiah Thomas' career, his championships, clutch moments, leadership, and his impact on the court. Show why his voice matters and why comparisons to Jordan or Durant spark intense reactions. Make viewers feel the respect Thomas earned over decades. This is what makes the conflict resonate beyond mere chatter. Layer in historical context: the 1992 Dream Team, the '91 Finals, and the Pistons' rivalry. Explain how these moments shaped relationships, reputations, and decisions that still echo today. Highlight overlooked details, like why Thomas wasn't on certain rosters, what external factors influenced selections, and how legends like Jordan made decisions that affected peers. Show the audience that understanding the past is essential to understanding the present drama. Use emotional storytelling to explore personal motivations. Show Isaiah's pride, frustration, and drive to assert his legacy. Explain why revisiting Jordan comparisons feels personal, not just ego, but a rightful claim to recognition. Bring in anecdotes about locker room dynamics, public appearances, and key interviews that shape the narrative. These details humanize the players, making the audience care deeply about the conflict. Weave in the idea of generational perspective. Compare the eras, the styles of play, the expectations of athletes, and the social context. Let viewers see why what-if hypotheticals, like Kevin Durant in Jordan's era, create heated debate. Show how modern fans interpret old events through new lenses, amplifying both admiration and critique. Finally, emphasize the stakes of legacy. Every statement, every viral clip, is more than just words. It's a piece of history, a claim on greatness. By connecting personal drama to enduring legacies, you deepen audience investment, making them feel the tension between respect, rivalry, and recognition. This phase grounds the viral spectacle in something meaningful, turning social media noise into a story about history, pride, and basketball immortality. And as all of this unfolds, remember that every comment, every debate, every viral clip ties back to the bigger picture of legacy, respect, and history. This isn't just gossip, it's a story about greatness, the stakes of pride, and what it truly means to leave a mark on basketball. From Isaiah Thomas to Michael Jordan, from locker rooms to global audiences, every reaction tells a part of the journey that fans and players alike will remember forever. If you want to catch all the latest breakdowns, hot takes, and legendary basketball moments like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join the squad over at Hoopradar. Don't miss a single play, a single story, or a single debate. Your front row seat to everything hoops is just a click away.